Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to unbox one part of the Elves box advent calendar. Now, why am I saying one part and why is this video so short? That's because I decided to make it a 4-part series. We have 12 doors, 3 doors in each row, so I decided why not open 3 doors every couple days until Christmas. And door number 1 is this diamond dust UV resin in this tiny bottle. And then we got the mold we actually saw in the, I guess, promotion picture for this advent calendar, which is the tiny Ferris wheel silicone mold. And we also get some pins in there, which is really neat, so we can put the gondolas on and make them movable. Door number 3 was a bit dented in, but nothing seems to have been broken, so, you know, happens in shipping sometimes. And we get some glitter, and these are like these greenish and red stars. Very cute, very Christmassy. Anyways, now that we've opened the first 3 doors, let's do the Ferris wheel. Now, I still have some pre-colored UV resins left and they need to go, they're super old. So I decided why not use them. So I decided, you know, why not also make this colorful? It doesn't have to be Christmassy since it's a Ferris wheel. So I decided why not go with blues and pinks and yellows. So I'm gonna go blue for the stand, light blue and like a magenta pinkish for the gondolas, and then yellow for the Ferris wheel itself. Now at this point the yellow is my oldest one and it was very viscous. Resin tends to do that over time, like UV resin, it tends to like get harder and harder, more like jello, but it still went into the mold fine, and this one actually cured pretty well. I had some other resins that were older and they stayed a bit tacky all the time, but they still cured, so depending on your resin you should try it first before you put it in the mold, because, you know, if it stays tacky and it ruins your mold, that would be really sad. I also really like how some of the gondolas kind of look like they have cat ears. It makes me happy to think about it, like cat gondolas. How cute would that be? And after curing, it's time for assembly. Now, this was a little bit hard to show because it's so tiny, so I'm sorry if it constantly goes out of focus. And yeah, as you can see, all of them cured really well. There was some tiny air bubbles and I had to re-pour one of the gondolas because it basically had a tiny hole where the opening was, so I, you know, couldn't put a pin in there, it was just fall through. So yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a pin, putting it through the gondola and then through the Ferris wheel, cutting it off flush with the wheel, and then just putting a tiny dot of super liquidy thin type UV resin on there and curing it from one side to fix the pin, and it actually worked really well. And yeah, I did that for all the gondolas, and basically really quick and easy method. It is a tiny bit fiddly, as you can see. I did a not sped up version for you guys to see it in real time. So basically, yeah, just threading through, holding it from the back end so it cannot slip out, and then cutting it with some pliers, and then yeah, basically just sealing it and curing it immediately. Now, this is a really thin type resin that I'm using right now, so I need to cure it a bit quicker so it won't like run to the front to the gondola and prevent it from moving. But in the end it worked out really well. But I had also 2 little pins, so what I did is in the end I took one of the pin wires that I cut off since it was a pretty large one, and I just put beads and beads of resin on it, like tiny beads curing, and then adding a little bit more resin to make the bead a little bit larger and curing that. And just repeating that process until I had a head that kind of matched the size of the metal heads, the pin head, to like affix the wheel to the base. And it worked out really, really well, and it was super easy to make. And you know, it doesn't have the silver coloring as much, but you know, as long as it works and I didn't have to throw away the pins since there was a lot of them left, yeah, it was a successful craft. I think this turned out really well. You can kind of fidget with it and move the gondolas. Now, they are too light, so they will not like move downward when you move the wheel in and of itself. You have to do that manually, but they definitely move. I needed to loosen up some of them because, you know, some of the film type resin, as I feared, got through a little bit, but it was really easy to loosen them and it worked in the end really well. I think it's a very cute Ferris wheel, miniature, decoration, spinny toy, whatever. Of course you can make it double-sided if you want to, like the large Ferris wheel, just using a second one of these middle parts and the second one of the feet, and threading it all through with the gondolas in the middle. But I decided not to because I wanted to seal the gondolas since the windows are kind of like pronounced on one side, and I like the look of the like cat ears on the gondola, and I thought, you know, it would be too obscured if I put the second side on. Anyways, that's all for day 1, 2 and 3. See you next time with days 4 to 7. Have a nice day. Bye!